This is our 2018 Ford Raptor that we've now had for 3 years, believe it or not, since we took delivery. We put 30,000 miles on this truck, and in today's video I figured we'd do a little owner's review and talk about what it's actually been like to have the most awesome truck money can buy out the box. So what's it actually been like to own the coolest truck money can buy out of the box? Except for, and it's hard for me to admit this because I'm a Ford guy, but the Ram Terrax is currently the king. But on February 3rd, which is just a few days from now, Ford is announcing the 2022 Raptor, and we're hoping and we're praying that it's going to have a supercharged V8, and I think that it will, because if it doesn't, then Ram is still king, and we can't have that because Ford is number one. I mean, just look at this thing. It's got such a menacing presence from the front, especially with the Ford grille and the wider fenders. And by the way, a Ford Raptor is 6 inches wider than a regular F-150. So we got wider fenders up front and then wider fenders in the rear as well. But in today's video, we're not going to do a full walk around and a full review because I've done that many times on this truck already. But I mean, how can I not mention it? Just look at the thing. Now, as I'm sure you already know, currently this generation Raptor has the high output EcoBoost engine. This is a 3.5 liter twin turbocharged V6 producing 450 horsepower and 510 pound-feet of torque. And it's a great engine, it really is. It's powerful, it's very torquey. So when it comes to the engine, we've had 0 problems, which is of course a good thing. But this truck deserves a big bad V8, preferably supercharged. So we're gonna have to wait and see what happens on February 3rd. So what makes a Ford Raptor a Ford Raptor? Well, it's definitely not the current engine alternative. We just talked about the looks. That definitely has a big part, but in my opinion, it's all about the suspension. So the Raptor comes with 3-inch Fox shocks in the rear here. We have 13.9 inches of suspension travel in the rear and 13 inches up front, hence why it has wider fenders as well, so the truck can handle all that travel. So at around 27,000 miles, we put new tires on this truck. Originally, it comes with BF Goodrich KO2s. We put some Nitto Ridge grapplers on here instead. It's got a lot more aggressive thread, more aggressive sidewall as well. I just like the tire overall. And like I said, we're not going to do a full review of the truck because I've done that before, but there might be some people tuning in that aren't really all that familiar with the Ford Raptor, and maybe they're looking at getting one here in the future. So we're just quickly going to mention that it has different equipment packages. So this is the 802A equipment package, which basically means that it is fully loaded. While the Raptor in its pure core is made for off-roading with the suspension in mind, it's also a luxury vehicle. We've taken it on tons of road trips, and it is one of the most comfortable vehicles I've ever driven. You got every amenity pretty much known to man, at least in 2018 and in the price range. So we got a very nice leather interior. My stepdaughter sits back here a lot, so she has her full power cords and USB ports and all that good stuff that a kid needs to keep their iPad charged. It's also a crew cab, so unbeatable legroom back here. I don't know any other vehicle in the world that has better legroom than a crew cab Ford F-150, whether it's a Raptor or not. Now we're going to jump in here and get out on the road in just a minute, but like I said, it has every feature you can pretty much think about. It's got adaptive cruise control, lane keeping system, heated cooled seats, navigation of course, 360 camera. We've got a very nice panoramic sunroof, nice little Raptor stitching here in the seats. The seats, by the way, are extremely comfortable as well. And being a Raptor, you get paddle shifters here, although hardly ever use them because it's not a dual clutch. They don't really shift all that fast. We just keep it in automatic. Now, if you follow this channel on a regular basis, you know that I actually surprised my wife with this truck. She is the one who drives this on a daily basis. It's pretty cool that a 5'0" little woman has a Ford Raptor as a dream vehicle, so that's why I had to get it for her. And with that being said, this means that we haven't really done all the modifications that we've done to my trucks because she wants to keep it, you know, more stock and not have a bunch of issues and so on. But we've done some minor little improvements here. Like I said, we put new tires on there, And then we added some extra lighting from Baja Designs. Very nice touch. A lot of Raptors will fill in that little open spot there in the front bumper with some cool lighting. We also powder coated the stock wheels. They were ugly in stock format, in my opinion. They were like silver and had some like black accents in them. Powder coating them looks so much better. This truck is such a blast. Not that you can't do donuts in the snow in any truck, but yeah. I mean, the main gripe that most Raptor owners have with this truck is the sound. It doesn't sound like a Raptor's supposed to sound. And I know I've mentioned this in 5 million videos already. And also, I've many times said that the engine is great. It's got a lot of power. It's got a lot of torque. It hasn't caused us any problems. It's been reliable for 30,000 miles, but that's the one thing that it's missing. And a lot of people might say like, oh, what do you care, Mike? You guys don't really go off-roading in the truck anyhow, and that's what it was meant for. It's like a pavement queen. And yeah, I mean, I guess there's truth to that. We don't really go off-roading all the time. We have done it, and it's a lot of fun to do it. But most people that buy a Ford Raptor, they're not going to do that either. But you know, to be honest, most people that buy a Ford Raptor, they're not buying it to go off-roading all the time. They buy it because they want a cool looking truck that has every feature that you need. But originally a pickup truck was a workhorse. You only really had a pickup truck back in the day if you really needed it for work. That's not how it is anymore. I mean, the F-150 in general is the most sold vehicle in this country for over 40 years straight. And it's not just construction people and farmers who buy trucks anymore. Now, some of you might be saying, how come your wife is not doing the review if it's her truck? And the thing is, they're in Disney. They do a girls trip, her, Sydney, and Grammy every year. And I'm not allowed to come, except for next year maybe. So during the time that they're gone, I usually do an update video on the Raptor and what it's been like for us during the time that we've had it. Now, this might be the last ownership update review video that we do on this 2018 Raptor, because if Ford announces that they're coming out with a supercharged Raptor, if only maybe in limited quantities, and then the rest will still have the EcoBoost engine, we're gonna get the supercharged one. We'll trade this one in, and then we'll get a new Raptor for my wife that I can make videos with occasionally as well, of course. But during the time that we've had this one, like I said, we haven't had any major issues. We've had some annoying issues happen. One of them was that water got trapped in the driver's door. I mentioned this in a video before, so some of you guys might remember that. We also had an issue with this panoramic sunroof, and that seems to be a somewhat common problem with F-150s in general that have this panoramic sunroof, not just Raptors. But both of those things were pretty quick fixes. We also had a recall where insulation down underneath here somewhere in the floorboard had to be changed because that could be a fire hazard. But that was, like I said, a recall, so that was a quick fix as well. The only wear and tear item that we really had to spend money on was tires. After 27,000 miles, those BF Goodrich KO2s, they were pretty warped. We had rotated them several times, but it was just loud road noise coming from the tires, and I could just tell they were getting bald. So we got these Ridge Grapplers instead, and they're quiet on the road. I just love them. I've had several sets on my personal trucks as well. So that's really the only thing that we've had to spend money on. The brakes are still fine. Suspension is working just great. Like I said, we haven't had any engine problems either, although the truck is currently still under warranty for about 1 more month. So hopefully if something major is supposed to happen during the time that we have this truck, it happens within a month here, so we can fix it for free. The Ford Raptor was the first F-150 to have the new transmission as well. This is the 10-speed auto that was co-developed with GM. All F-150s get the 10-speed now, at least for 2021. In the beginning, I wasn't really a huge fan because I didn't understand the meaning with having, 10 speeds and so on. But now, after driving it for a few years and that also having it on my new truck, It makes a huge difference, especially for a 5-liter V8 that I have. The gearing is different, and with more gears, it feels like the truck is torquier in lower RPM ranges. Now the Raptor is turbocharged, so it feels like it has torque all the time. But transmission-wise, we haven't had any issues either, and that was a brand new component for F-150. So if something were to break, it would be the transmission. And I've heard of Raptor owners that have had issues. They've had transfer cases break and so on. But again, we've been lucky. No major problems in our 2018 Ford Raptor. And the thing is pretty freaking fast. It just let loose on the tires there. It was just doing a rolling little pull from 30 miles an hour. With that being said, I do really hope they come out with a supercharged V8 version for the next generation Raptor. I mean, it needs it. It just needs it. Can you imagine if this truck sounded the way that it looks? It's just going to be a home run. There's no truck on the market that's going to be able to touch a Raptor that has a supercharged V8. So to wrap it up, our ownership experience in the Raptor has been absolutely great. It's now sitting next to the new generation F-150, so we can kind of get an idea of what a new Raptor will look like. My truck doesn't have the Ford grille, has different DRLs and stuff like that. Maybe we'll have a new generation Raptor sitting next to the F-150 Lariat here this year, hopefully. So I hope you guys have enjoyed this little shorter owner's review this time of our 2018 Ford Raptor. We absolutely love this truck. You guys know my wife loves it. I love it. We love trucks in general. And with that, we're going to end today's video. Hope you guys enjoyed it. If you did, give it a huge thumbs up. If you're stopping by for the first time and you haven't already and you want to, please subscribe. And I'll see you in the next one. Bye-bye.